everyone, this is TJ Jutler from the UK. Matt and I had a conversation a few weeks ago, and we're basically on this journey in terms of what we believe where education should be and what should really be happening with education. Like we both have spoken to a number of people that kind of believe that education needs to change, and ultimately it just seems like there's a lot of individuals that are kind of having conversations about it, but the idea of what we're trying to do here is bring everybody together and actually work together to try to make the change. I feel like we've kind of relied a lot on politicians over the last few decades, and unfortunately just nothing has changed. And genuinely we feel as education just not fit for purpose in the 21st century. I mean, the world has changed so much since 1896, and I mean, education just hasn't, right? So the idea of what we're trying to do here is bring the community together, the people that believe that the change is inevitable and that it just needs to happen, and kind of move in a direction, collaborate with one another, come up with a plan, values, and similar ideas in terms of what we're trying to do, and actually just make it happen.
Yep. And so, like, to summarize, so we have this kind of why statement, and the statement is for us to pressure the education system from the outside and within for change, right? So as TJ said, that it is impossible for us to imagine the educational system changing unless we work together. And so, what this whole gathering is really about is that we are educational change makers. We're from all sides and walks of life. This is an organic process, and it's entirely different than what has been possible really throughout, the last 100 years. TJ's in the UK. I'm in the United States. We've got people in South America, Latin America, other parts of Europe. There's a whole conversation that's going to start up on the other side of the world as well. So maybe TJ, you could talk about what this is not.
Yeah, effectively what this isn't is antagonist venting like competition in some respects. I mean, the idea is that we're not kind of coming here just to have a moment about education and do nothing about it. The idea is that we want to actually make a difference. And I think like kind of the other groups that I've seen out there, they very much kind of talk about it and they have like these conversations about it, but actually nothing really happens. What we really want to do is build a really large community, have a time frame in terms of like growing the community, and actually then start applying pressure from education from both inside and outside. And we're only going to do that in numbers. I mean, individually it's impossible, but collectively we've got a real chance in making it happen. And we do that by globally fighting education and making sure that the reform does happen.
Right. So just briefly about the expectation setting in terms of what you can expect over the next several months. The first is really by June, we're trying to build trust and grow people who want to see educational change from any part of the globe. And again, people outside the system, you don't have to be in the system. You can be a mom or an engineer or a teacher. We all want anybody who's interested in changing this system to be a part of this conversation. Then by July or so, after multiple conversations, we're planning a meeting every 2 weeks. We will have proposals, like what are some ideas? And then the group can start to either vet or encourage or support ideas about how to change this. And then by September, we imagine we can start testing and experimenting with ideas of how to change education. So just to kind of give you a sense of where we're headed, I'll tell you that this is going to be a super hard work, but if it's not hard, it's not worth doing. So we hope that you'll be willing to join us, and we hope that you'll be willing to help share this with others, and wanted to just give that introduction and looking forward to working with you.
Absolutely. And just to kind of reiterate, this isn't a dictatorship. We want people involved. We want people to have a voice. We want people to feel like they're a part of this movement, because it genuinely has been far too long, and we have been letting children down for way too long, and I mean, here in the UK, we had 226,000 vacancies without the skilled labour to fill those vacancies. I mean, we don't teach about leadership, entrepreneurship. It's about time we start creating the future leaders and change makers. And we won't do that until we step in and put pressure on the system.